Let's start something new. Well, sort of. What's up, crew? I'm gonna lock in 1 hour a day and crush content here, recording Monday through Wednesday and Friday and Saturday, and then edit on Thursdays and leave Sunday as likely an open-ish day. I don't know. Do you guys watch content on Sunday mornings? My goal is going to be to touch every single one of my cars as often as possible. So this week, I'm dealing with an impulse buy. I picked up some new headers for the Evo and kind of missed something in that process that I'm going to share. I'm also going to start the next iteration of the Evo sound system, which is super exciting, but also requires a whole lot of planning on my part. So let's get started. Today, let's deal with that impulse buy.
Ain't nobody ask, we splashing. Beats that had boom, now we moving massive. Breaking you down in the bass, spitting acid. I'm back in my zone, the top gun of the Maverick. Like used elastics, bro. It's really not a stretch. These dudes is plastic, yo. They really not a threat. Looking chilly on the neck and out of pocket. I'm locked in. Presidential rollie, bust it down and give it drop kicks. Now let me pop off, make it look easy. I come.
These instructions suck. They're very brief. They don't really go into some of the details. Like there's this rubber piece which I'm assuming stays because it's molded to stay. That's probably to make sure that it doesn't clank into place or make metal vibration noises.
Like, give me one reason that I can shut them down, switch up the season, freeze them, flash the cash and I'm cheesing.
Whew. It is up. Feels like it's a little bit high. What do you think? Too high? I don't know, but it is strong enough, I think. Looks pretty good. I think it has wobble to it because it's got rubber pads. So that's where you're gonna get a little bit of give. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if this thing lasts. This goes well. Hopefully you'll see this on TikTok. I wanna do a parody because obviously before I purchased this impulse buy, there was a ton of different ads. Well, there are ads where these companies are asking for it. And it's like, why I'm going to return my Giraffe Tools vacuum. Well, it's not because blah, blah, blah. And it's not because blah, blah, blah. Seriously, this is the worst type of ad I've ever had. On to tomorrow. I ran out of time. I'm on a tight schedule for myself and I should be working out now. It never makes sense that you would return it because there's a deal somewhere else. That's just rude. It does kind of feel like the retractableness of it could get a little worn out more than I'd like it to be, but we'll find out. We'll give it a review in a few months. All right, so I think I shared an unboxing of this. This is one of my most exciting, or things I'm most excited for. Of all the upgrades I've purchased, this has been the most exciting. Got a set of turbo, I got a turbo manifold for the Evo, and it's just an OEM replacement, so nothing out of the ordinary other than longer runs. I'll show some B-roll on top of this, but the OEM turbo manifold is such a short route from the exhaust ports to the turbo. Since I'm not smart enough to talk about any of this, I'm not going to go into performance detail. I'm most excited because this is just gonna look a gajillion times better. Like the current OEM manifold, even when it's not, how old is this damn thing? Even when it came off the lot brand new, if you took the heat shield off, there was nothing special about the manifold, and that's by design. And for such an iconic engine, one of the engines that you say 4G63 and people know exactly where it came from, it's like, I would love more lust off of the engine block visibly. So putting this in its place and having this nice big bundle of tubes is going to be so cool. And a lot of the times I don't love branding, but like this is kind of a cool accent, like a chromed piece on a matte black header. Funny story too. Boring. I ordered it in titanium blue and realized, luckily early enough, that meant the entire thing was going to be blue, like the blue that comes off of a burnt titanium piece or like a heated up titanium piece. I thought it meant that it was going to be titanium look, like very shiny with some blue accents here and there, some burns. But I messaged the guy and I was like, hey, Just out of curiosity, do you have a picture of the titanium blue? And he sends me, an entirely like Superman blue turbo manifold. I'm like, no, can we switch to black? Thanks. Now, I mentioned in the intro, I missed something. I was in such a giddy, hurry up and order mode that I didn't realize I would need to replace the hardware of this. The studs and bolts are completely rusted through too. Hopefully they're easy enough to come out and I don't strip anything. I ordered these, opened up the hood and looked down there. I was like, ew. What the? You know, I should probably replace those too. They look crusty. We have titanium bolts and studs coming in for the header mounting and the turbo mating surface and new gaskets. So this will be fresh to death as it goes in. So I'm pretty excited about that. I wish I had all the parts now, but I ordered those last week or the week before, and the lead time on a lot of their stuff is pretty long. So hopefully it comes in by next week and we can get this thing installed into the Evo. We can see if there's a noticeable difference. I'm not really betting on much, but like I said, I Googled it and there was information saying that there's at least, I think it was 10 to 15 horsepower. And I'm sure throttle response will be pretty awesome, given it's able to breathe more. Anytime you open up the breathing of your engine, you're gonna feel and hear something. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting both. A little bit of audible change and hopefully feel a little more kick when I slam the gas down. So, hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Turns out one sub is just not enough, which is why I now have 2 subs. Well, technically I have 3. That's a story for another time. God, I have a problem. For the Evo, I have been wanting so badly to bump up to 2 subs. If you've been a part of the channel for long enough, I love bass. I love bass. To the point where in the past, I've had a 15-inch L7 kicker in the back of a Lancer, not an Evo, but a Lancer. The size of that box was so impractical, but the amount of rumble you can get was shaking China cabinets 5 houses down to where they had to come out and tell me, could you stop with that? And I'd be like, you bet your bottom dollar I could stop. Proud of myself. So needless to say, I knew going into buying a single 8-inch subwoofer was not going to be enough, but I wanted to test it. I wanted to make sure before I spend all the extra money that I was going to be okay with one, and it's fine. Definitely the best bass I've felt in a long time, where I really took the time to figure out the proper airspace to port and volume and ports area and all of that to really fine tune it. It's still just certain low rumbles just isn't enough. Now, say all that knowing that putting 2 8-inch EVLs may still not be enough, because it might not be only a matter of how much air is being moved, but the power handling of an 8-inch. Doubling it to 2 8s is technically more than what one single 10 would be, but it's still less than what a 12 would be. And there's a whole bunch of other numbers to look at. But as my build stands right now, I have an amp that's too big for a single sub. So I have so much headroom that I just felt like adding the second sub. Plus 2 subs, I think, is always better than 1. Originally today, I was going to run to Home Depot, grab some wood, at least start the planning process with the wood. But then I'd just end up being like these, where there would be a big, huge 4x8 foot piece of MDF sitting around until I finally build it. Until I know exactly what I'm building, I'm not going to buy wood. And with that said, let's talk about where I'm currently mentally stuck as far as trying to decide what my next build is going to be. The 3 options that I'm really considering is, number 1, super simple. Literally just build a box, put the subs in it, and make sure the airspace, port area, port length are all optimal for what I'm trying to go for. That for me would be the quickest way to get this done versus me overthinking all the things that I'm about to share. My fear with that is I'm not gonna fall in love with it, which is, my goal is for this to be something I'm proud of, and a simple box to me is never gonna elicit pride. Other than maybe it sounding really good, but I truly do have an urge, and maybe it is just an urge, and I'll find that out hopefully soon enough, to go to a point where I can open the trunk out of meat and then be like, hell yeah, look at that shit. Like, Too Fast, Too Furious style without all the moving ridiculousness. Option number 2, be built intentionally to have the subs firing into the cabin and the port also facing the cabin. On the backside, what I've drawn very poorly are 2 windows that would show the magnets of the sub, because scars aren't the top of the line, whatever everybody has their opinion about scars. This looks awesome, and the fact that the magnet is black with a nice rubber wrap around with some branding, like this in the back of the trunk, visible, would be super sick. Obviously the bigger subs would be even better, but the packaging of this one too, proportional it looks compared to like when you get a 10 version of this, the magnet doesn't really change in size, it's just the cone size. So then you get this sort of cone shape. And then if you go 12, it gets bigger, and then a 15, it's like this huge cage and a little baby magnet. My concern with that one is it's complex enough, and building the port is a little bit more complicated. And then the final option that I've now come to consider, because I saw this on somewhere, I don't know if it was YouTube, Instagram, is to have the subwoofers out in space and then technically reverse firing, as in having the front of the subwoofer firing into the enclosure and having them sort of suspended in space, so that when you open the trunk, this box is built around it. And this one is a simple box technically, but you could see those 2 giant subwoofers, and then once again separated by the amp in the middle. There has been some information data that I've seen that firing inward with a subwoofer is less efficient than having the sub itself inside of the box. I'm not sure what that really comes down to, because all I can think of is that as long as you ensure that it's firing the right way, like the polarity, it's firing the way it's supposed to, because you can reverse the polarity of the sub, then it shouldn't affect the sound. All you're doing is freeing up airspace inside the box, because it no longer has the magnet cage, coil, and all the things of the sub. But this one to me looks like it could be like a nice happy medium between the plexiglass and a simple box, because now I'm eliminating the need to seal plexi or acrylic to wood and shape and cutouts and all that stuff. But then you have the subs exposed to the elements, and I don't know.
Perfect.
What do you guys think? The other one that popped into my head today was fiberglass. Like I've always wanted to do a really cool fiberglass box, but these are some heavy subs, and I'm not sure I want to dive into that rabbit hole just yet. Let me know in the comments. Do you think firing the sub and port towards the trunk or towards the cabin matters? Which one of the 3 do you think I should roll with? I'm gonna decide soon, because I really want to get this done. I already have the acrylic pieces to create the windows. I just have to nail the airspace and port length so that it is optimal. And that has been a challenge for some reason. Yep.